Shalom, 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 Yahawah. This is your boy, Brother Samuel, back at you with another quick edifying video. Right, today's lesson is going to be called Strangeness of His Salvation. Right, first and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say Halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Right, that's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi, right? And the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash, right? Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, from Elder Apostle Tahar on down, who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days, right? So like I said, today's lesson is going to be called Strangeness of His Salvation, right? Because a lot of people are going to be surprised, in the coming of Yahawashi, this is one of, a description, when you look at this photo here, of what's to come, and I could just only imagine that it's going to be even more glorious than this, This is a movie, right? What more than what Yahawashi has planned for us, right? When he comes with the chariots, okay? So, I just want to kind of go over a few scriptures. Lord's will, this is edifying, right? So let's get into it, right? And then we can get back to some of the the pictures, Lord's will. All right, so let's start off with, and Salakia for the noise, out here, but let's get the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and I'm gonna start at verse 1, right? And it reads, it says, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1, it says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors," right? So guess what? Right now, the men of the Lord, man, are standing up right now, right? They're waking up, the book of Ezekiel, right? 37, those dry bones, right? They're coming back to life, right? The book of Deuteronomy, where we were going to remember ourselves, right? In our land of our captivity, right? This is what's happening, right? This great awakening, of our people, right? And now we're standing bold in the face, of our who have afflicted us, right? Our oppressors, right? Which are our enemies, right? And it says, and made no account of his labors, right? Because they drive past us. They don't think nothing of us, right? They walk past us and snirk at us and look at us crazy, right? Who are these niggas? That's what they thinking, right? Not understanding, right? Verse 2, it says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for, right? Because guess what, right? When they see the salvation, of the elect of Israel, right? The so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American people, they're going to be amazed at it, right? Like a lot of people are going to be amazed at the salvation of the Israelites, right? They're not even going to fathom what's happening. You know what I mean? I know me and my brethren, we're always looking up in the sky, like I was telling the brothers yesterday, I seen the chariot, seen the chariot in the sky, flying around, right? But most people, they look up and they don't comprehend what they're seeing, right? And it's like I say, it's happening more and more frequently. We're looking up and we're seeing these things, And I think in my mind, like a woman in travail, right? These things are going to happen quicker and quicker and quicker, right? Until boom, the coming of Yahawashi. All right, let's keep reading, But like I said, it's going to be so far beyond what they have looked for, right? Because they just picture, salvation, especially, you got Christians, right, who just think that, out of the sky, right, is going to be, this so-called white man just ascending from the sky, with his hands open and doing all that, right? They're not even going to imagine. They don't even imagine the true power and glory that Yahawashi is coming in, right? And that he's not a so-called white man, right? That he's likened to a so-called black man, with woolly hair, right, and dark skin. Okay, but it says, and they repenting for the groaning of their anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach, right? These are the ones that we was calling niggas and spicks and all these other things. These are those guys, and hold on, what's going on? They're getting beamed up, they're getting beamed up into these so-called UFOs, right? Which we know are the chariots of Yahawashi, right? It says, we fools counted his life madness, right? They think we're madness, right? They see us looking, me and my brother, after we go teaching, we kind of look up in the sky, right? We're up there just looking, looking for chariots. At one point, I think we counted 11 coming by, but right, it says, they think that we're mad. They think that we're crazy, because we up here staring up into the sky. It says, we fools are counting his life madness and his end to be without honor. It says, how is he numbered among the children of the Most High and his lot among the saints, right? They're going to be questioning, like, hold on. I was told that, we're the real Jews, right? They're going to be shocked and amazed at the salvation and how it comes, right? And the glory and the power of the coming of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. Okay? Let's go to the book of Acts, right? Because they're going to, the salvation, right, is going to be coming. They're going to be coming in, in something like this, right? They're going to be coming in something like this, man. Something like one of these, Salakia, one of these spacecrafts, which are like the chariots of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, the chariots of the Lord, or they're likened unto like clouds, right? There's another one, right? Let me see. Let me see. It was one, I can't find it. Salakia, where it looked like it was, here we go, like it's coming out of a cloud, right? The scriptures are like it's coming out of a cloud. Let's get that, right? Let's go to the book of Acts, right? Let's go to the book of Acts. And book of Acts, chapter 1. And we'll start at verse number 9. And it reads, and it says, and when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven, as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, right? 2 angels appeared, right, unto the disciples, right? And it said, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahawashi, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven, right? So while they were speaking, it's read, when you go back to verse 9, it says, while they had yet spoken these things, while they yet beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight, right? And that cloud is talking about the chariots, right? Or we call, they call the so-called UFOs or UAPs, right? That's where Yahawashi actually came. He got ascended up into, right? He was beamed up into that thing, right? And the angel basically told him, hey, the same way you just seen Yahawashi ascend up is the same way he's coming down. He's coming back, right? In a so-called spacecraft, right? Or the chariots of the Lord, right? So, like I say, people think it's strange. People think, it's madness of the things that we see, right? But we know it, right? And the scriptures talk about it, right? Let's go to, they said the same way he came, right? Let's get Revelation 1 and verse number 7, right? And it says, behold, he cometh with clouds, right? So he's coming in a spacecraft or so-called UFO, right? Something similar to this thing right here, right? It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen, right? They're going to be weeping and wailing, right, when they see Yahawashi coming in the cloud, right, which is the chariot of the Lord, with the salvation, coming to save the elect, Matter of fact, let's go to the book of Mark, right? Because he's coming to gather his elect, right? The sheep that hear his voice, not all Israel, right? He's coming to save, the elect of Israel. Okay. Let's go to the book of Mark. Mark 13 and verse number 26. And it reads, and it says, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory, right? And then shall he send his angels and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven, right? So the Most High, or Yahawashi, is coming, right, to gather the elect of Israel, right? Those who have been chosen from the beginning of the foundations of the earth, right? When you read, what is that? Ephesians, I believe 1 and 4, right? But he's coming for the elect. The elect are going to get beamed up, right, into these chariots or these so-called UFOs. Okay. That's going to be the strangeness, and people just going to be shocked and awed, at when they see this thing, right? Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse number 30. And it says, this, like I said, okay, Salakia, this is for the elect, right? So it says, now this is the parable of the wheat and the tare, right? The wheat, being the elect, right? The tare, right, being, Esau, right? Who has led tares unaware, right, into, there's a lot of folks who look like Jake, right, who look like so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are not, right? But let's get into this. It says Matthew chapter 13 and verse 30, it says, let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, right, and bind them in bundles to burn them, right? Those are going to be those who are going to be set for the judgment, of the fire, of those ICBM missiles and the chariots of the Lord, right? With the weapons that they have, right? The laser beams and all that stuff. But it says, but gather the wheat into my barn, right? And what's his barn? Right? When you go to it, this is going to be Salakia. This is going to be his barn, okay? It's going to be looking something like, like this right here. This huge, fathership, okay? Let's get that, right? Let's get another one on that. Let's go to the book of, let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse number 4. And it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, right? So those of the elect are going to get beamed up into the chambers, right, into the so-called UFOs, right, or the chariots of Yahawah Shemel Shai, so that they won't receive the plague. The plague is those ICBM missiles, right? Is the lasers and the weapons that the chariots of the Lord have that are going to be wreaking havoc on Babylon, right, in this place. So it said, come up, right? Come out of her, right? They're gonna get beamed up, and they're gonna be inside the. I forgot it's another precept. It says come into the chambers and shut the door, right? But it says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities, right? Babylon, man. Right, this place is going to be turned into the lake of fire, right? The lake of fire, because it's going to be so many ICBM missiles, right? Nuclear missiles that are going to hit this place. Is going to turn this place. It's going to look like a molten, like a lake of fire. Okay. And like I said, it's going to be looking something, to the effect of this, right? When you look at this, right, you don't see, where this spacecraft ends and where it begins, right? And that goes into Second Esdras, right? And we'll get that real quick. Let's get that. Let's go to the book of Second Esdras 13. Okay, we'll start at verse number 2, right? And it reads, and it says, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that moved all the waves thereof, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, right? Talking about Yahawashi and the angels, right? And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And wheresoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire, right? It's going to be melted, melted from the destruction of the chariots, right? That Yahawashi is coming in, right, with the angels, right? And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea, right? Talking about these other nations, right? They're going to be in World War III, and guess what? They're going to stop, and they're going to try to fight against Yahawashi, right? Who's coming out of the sea. The sea is talking about space, right? Because space, when you read, is likened unto like water, It's likened unto the waters, right? So he's coming out of the sea, which is coming out of space, And it says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it, right? It says, but I would not have seen the region or place whereof he have graven, and I could not, right? So Esdras is looking, and he's like, man, this look like, this man talking about Yahawashi, he has graved himself a huge mountain, right? That mountain is talking about this so-called spaceship or so-called UFO, right? That Yahawashi is coming in, but this thing is going to be humongous, right? It's going to be likened to something like this. And let's go to it right here, right? It's going to be something like this, right? Because you can't see where it ends and where it begins. It's so huge. You see how it's just covering the whole city, man. You see the shadow comes upon it, man. That's something that Yahawashi is coming on, right? And guess what? Yahawashi, they're going to be having on this so-called spacecraft, right, which is the chariot of the Lord. Hey, there's going to be the weapons on that thing, right? Like in the Maccabees, right? Let's get that. Like I say, so the strangeness of the salvation, right? People are going to be, their hearts are going to be failing for all of what they see, man. They're going to be losing their minds, right? We see Jake losing his mind now, right? Seeing, the chariots as they're being spotted, man. You see them looking like clouds, right? Forming like, turning into clouds, right? Because they can shape, they can form, they can disappear, they can do all types of things, right? And Jake is already, they getting bugged out by just the things that they've seen right now, right? So this is 2 Maccabees chapter 10, and I'll go to verse number 29. And it reads, it says, but when the battle waxed strong, there appeared unto the enemies from the heaven 5 comely men upon horses, right? And horses, also, represent like power, right? And like the chariots too, right? So it says with bridles of gold, and 2 of them led the Jews, and took Maccabeus betwixt them, and covered him on every side with their weapons, right? So these chariots, they got weapons, right? And kept him safe, but shot arrows and lightnings against the enemies, right? This thing has got like laser beams. It's got all these different weapons, man. This is the stuff that, Esau ain't seen, and they not ready for, right? It says against the enemies, so that being confounded with blindness and full of trouble, they were killed. And there were slain of footmen 20,500 and 600 horsemen, right? So they were slain a lot of men, right? By just these 5 chariots, What more, the whole host of Yahawah Shai, right? When they come, and the fathership, These are the things, man, right? This is going to be the strangeness of the salvation of the children of Israel, those of the elect who are going to be, saved out of this place, okay? Let's go to the book of Luke, right? Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 21, and verse number 36, right? And this is why we got to continue to stay diligent, right? We want to be likened unto this number, right? It says, Luke chapter 21, verse 36, it says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man, right? That's what we shooting for, man. That's what we trying to stay diligent, stay focused. When we pray, that Yahawah Bahasham keeps us and helps us to endure, that we may, be beamed up into those chariots, right? And be saved, right? And see the downfall of our enemy, right? And see the destruction, right, of these other nations, right? And the rise of the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, right? Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, right? Let's get one more. We're going to close it out. Salaki, we're going to stay in Luke 21. Let's just go to verse number 25, right? It says the coming of the Son of Man, right? And it says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon, right? You've had eclipses, right? You've had blood moons, man. We've had blood moons, here in this area, for a while, It says, and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations, right? So in the stars, you see, we see the chariots of Yahawah all the time, going to and fro. It says, and upon the earth, distress of nations, right? You got, wars, upwars in Africa. You got upwars in Europe, all around, right? With perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. It says, men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, right? Because they know these things is coming on the earth, right? We living in the last days. These are the last days, and it's coming. It says, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken, right? They'll be shaken by these icy beam missiles. Boom! When they hit, man, the earth is going to rock to and fro. Right? That's how powerful these things are going to be. It says, then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and with great glory, right? And we know that those clouds are talking about the so-called UFOs, right? Or the chariots of the Lord. It says, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Right, so that's why you see brothers, man. We looking up. We're always looking up in the sky, man. We looking for the salvation, man. We getting our energy and our by seeing these chariots, man. By seeing the chariots, man, we boosting our faith up, man. Helping us to continue to maintain, right? So we can, we want to see the strangeness of our salvation. Lord's will. That we're part of that number. So, like I said, man, people, they thinking we mad and we crazy because we out here, hey, we looking for our salvation, right? Because we know it draweth nigh, right? We know it draweth nigh, right? So, with that, Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say Halal Yahawah, Bahasham Mashiach Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash, right? That's all praises, right? Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, right? A mighty shalom to the elect, man. Stay diligent, stay focused, keep enduring, right? And Lord's will, we endure this thing. Keep praying and keep praying for one another, man, and keep looking for your salvation, right? And with that, shalom.